some people joining. There's a lot of shit going on right now, as you guys know. While we're waiting for some people to tune in, feel free to type in the comments anything on your mind or anything you want to discuss. There we go. I see a few of you joining. Thank you. All right. Well, it looks like we have a few people in. Let's see. Give it another minute, maybe. I hope people weren't confused. I did post on my Facebook and Twitter that I was going live tonight. I hope people realize that. um, but yeah, I was gonna go live last night for the results for the 8 states that who had primaries yesterday, but the results just take forever. So I announced I was going to go live tonight instead, and then today I posted again. So fingers crossed. So yeah, like yesterday kind of sucked. I can't say I'm like totally surprised because I mean Bernie did drop out against all of our wishes. So Bernie on the ballot is only as successful as it can be. A lot of people don't understand conceptually what the point is. A lot of people say, well, you're helping Trump, even though it's primaries and it has nothing to do with it. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, it really was only going to be so effective. We got 6 delegates yesterday. 6. And that is because they're not giving us all of they're giving us like a fraction of what we would have gotten had we stayed in the race. So, I'm in Pennsylvania. My primary was yesterday. Most people in all 8 primaries did vote by mail prior to yesterday. And I should state that a lot of vote by mail ballots are still being tabulated, especially in my state. I think it says like 94% in, but I looked online and my husband's and my mom's has been counted. Mine has not yet. Um, so they are still tabulating some. All the burners I know mailed in their ballots, so we might get a little more, but who knows if that'll equate to delegates. In DC, we got 10% of the vote. Maryland, we got 6% of the vote. But in fairness, the 6% was almost 31,000 votes. So in Indiana, we got 14% of the vote, which was 57,410 votes, which is quite a chunk for someone who's not running. Montana, we got 22,000 votes, which is 14.69% of the vote, which is so close because we need 15%. And then in New Mexico, we also got 14.69%. So thanks to like the 5 people who didn't vote. And then PA is, like I said, still counting, but we got over 19%. We have almost 160,000 votes for Bernie. So I'm pretty happy. I'm proud of that. It gave us 2 delegates. Rhode Island, we got 30.25% of the vote. South Dakota, we got 23% of the vote and 3 delegates. All in all, you know, considering we weren't technically running, we did better than anyone else, put it that way. But yeah, so as far as Blackberry, we did reelect Summer Lee. I'm ecstatic about that. I was a little worried. The dude going against her was slandering her, like, completely. There were a lot of racist, you know, bullshit things going around. He had mailers going out with just total lying about her voting history, all kinds of crap. So a lot of us were kind of nervous that, you know, it was gonna work, even though it wasn't legit. So Summer did win again. And Nicole Seville, he won in Philly area. I'm so happy for him. He was a Bernie delegate and devout on our campaign. So that was exciting. Both Summer and Nicole were endorsed by Bernie. So that was cool. Michaela, I am so disappointed. I really thought she could have taken out Hoyer. This is Maryland. She's the woman I had a few nights ago in Maryland going against Hoyer, Michaela Wilkes. She had it. Like, she had it. She was strong. She was knowledgeable. She was an activist. She was intelligent. Like, she had a following, a hardcore. I don't know what happened, but honestly, it wasn't even close, which is the worst part. I know so many people in Maryland who were so excited for her, and it just breaks your heart because you know all the shit that people put into things, to so many people leave their careers to run for things, and so many people spend every penny they have to do this. They open their living rooms as campaign headquarters, and they dedicate everything to it. And then when they're defeated, it's like, it's heartbreaking to see that. I mean, if in the rare instance, an establishment Dem is defeated, it's like, who cares? They don't give a shit. They're already rich. They already have other ties. They'll figure out something. But when progressives, genuine grassroots people lose, it's hard. It's like, it's a grieving process. And I've interviewed over 170 candidates. I've seen some people take it really hard, and it totally makes sense. So that was the one that, those were the 3 I was really like focusing on. I know people are like really hyped that Steve King lost, but I'm like, another Republican won, so I'm not really sure why. Yeah, he's garbage. I get it, but it's not that like he lost to a Dem or a progressive. Like, he's just out. with another Republican. So, okay. I think that's just kind of like grasping for something to be happy about. But yeah, so here's the thing, the rude awakening. So for months, probably even since over a year since Byrne announced this time, we've been talking about who will they replace Joe Biden with? If he gets to the convention, he's not going to make it. They'll pull 25th Amendment. Like, you know, he's incoherent. He's like absolutely bananas. He makes no sense. He's racist. He's can't keep his hands to himself. Like all this stuff. And we've been talking, who are they going to replace him with? Last night, it became all too real because you need 1,991 delegates to win the nomination outright. He has 1,959. He literally is 32 delegates away from being the Dem nominee. This shit isn't convention anymore. This is him being coronated, like possibly today, tomorrow, whenever, because not all the results are in. So he got like literally like over 300 delegates yesterday alone. He's going to get that 32 delegates like ASAP. It's not going to take long. There's more votes in, let's see, 3 days, and there's more votes in 6 days. Like, it's all about wrapped up. And that is heartbreaking. But also at the same time, that fucks over us in another way, because the whole point of Bernie on the ballot was to get 1,200 delegates so we can be heard. We could have a space on the floor at the convention and say, look, fuckers, you think you're going to get any votes without doing Medicare for all, Green New Deal, blah, blah, blah. And it was going to be, do I think it would have worked? I don't fucking know, but it still would have felt good to actually have the floor. Put it that way. We currently have 1,035 delegates. We didn't get the 1,200. This is devastating because we're going to be stuck with Joe as a nom. There's not going to be any like switcheroo. I mean, there might be because they don't go by their own rules, but like it's way, way, way less likely because he will be actually made the Dem nominee. Maybe as soon as, in a couple days. If at this point saying Bernie unsuspend, it makes no sense. There is unsuspending, it will do nothing. Joe Biden literally needs 32 delegates. And New York hasn't even voted yet. Now, as someone who's been planning to go to the convention for the day Bernie announced, I was like, I'm going to the convention, period. The chance of them still having it, pandemic or not, in person with Joe being officially the nominee is just not likely. In their mind, there'd probably be no point. This sucks. It absolutely sucks. I don't know if you can see back there. I drew a broken heart on my Bernie picture. I will love him always for changing my life, but I can never forgive him for doing this. Joe is going to lose to Trump. We all know this. He's going to. And Bernie, we all knew Bernie would, endorse the nom, even though it makes us sick. We all knew he was going to do it. What I don't support is him doing it literally like a day after he's suspended. There was no, I'll only endorse you if, like, where's your leverage, dude? What did you do? What did you use your leverage for? Because he had them. He could have said, look, you better sign on to this. You better give me a position in the cabinet. I don't know about anything. I don't know anything that he gained by endorsing him. I don't know. He endorsed him before Obama endorsed him. He endorsed him before Liz endorsed him. I know he has his reasons. I'm close with people on the campaign. I get it. The number one reason, like pretty much the only reason he dropped is because of COVID, and pieces of shit like Biden were still telling people to go out and vote. And Bernie's the only one with a fucking conscience. And he kept saying, people are sick, they're dying. And people at polling stations are like getting it like crazy. And Biden sure wasn't going to say stay home. Biden sure wasn't saying let's stop these in-person, polling places. Bernie was the only one. He was getting ignored. And he's like, fuck, like I have to suspend. That's the only way people will stop going out in public. And the thing about it is 2 weeks after Bernie suspended, all future voting had states able to do mail-in. So it's frustrating because he did it with public health and safety as the reason, which makes me love him even more. But at the same time, I want to be like Bernie, like people are adults, and if they chose to do it, they chose to do it. And it's just like, I wish you weren't going to be the bigger person. Just be like, you know what? I'm going to keep telling people don't go out and vote. I'm going to keep telling people, like he literally was telling people don't go out. But he felt guilty because people were still going out. Nobody even said these people were going out for him. I don't know. Most were probably going out for Biden. Who knows? But unfortunately, he's a humanist and he wanted to put people's lives first. I say unfortunately because it's just so fucked up. Like, I'm like, Bernie, why did you have to care about people's health? But then once he's suspended, it's like, at that point, that's what I was hoping he was going to do, was suspend, chill for 2 weeks. Then when everything went mail in, come back. He didn't do that. He endorsed Biden. And, he was kind of, I'm playing my options, stuff like that. And I was like, dude, you're making me sick. Like, you're making me sick. I am a nervous wreck. I'm popping Ativan. And then, some of you guys know, I found out 3 days before he dropped that he was going to drop by someone on the campaign. And it was just, I kept, just thinking in my head, just please back out. Don't do it. Back out. Yeah. And guys, I agree. I don't understand why you would vote for Biden. Well, first of all, he's garbage. But even in the primary, it's like, we are telling you guys, like we are verbally telling you guys, we told you in 2016, Hillary was going to lose. We told you. We were right. We don't just, vote against things. We vote for things. We're telling you Biden is going to lose. So you have the chance to say, you know what? If Biden's already going to be the nominee, I don't need to vote for him in the primary. I'll vote for Bernie so he can have a voice at the convention, and then they can discuss what kind of platform, and stuff like that. And that process may get us more votes. Doesn't mean I'd vote for him, but I know some people would. And instead of that, they turned out for Biden anyway. And it just goes to show you he can literally say and do anything, and people will still vote for him. Likely Obama nostalgia. I want to go back to the way things were. That's very white and privileged to feel that way. It's really, Hector, I'm in a swing state too, and I'll never tell you who to vote for or who not to vote for. That's your choice. But my vote has not been earned in the least, and it won't be. Bernie's earned my vote. Bernie, that's it. Like, I'm not gonna vote for someone who is. Let me read you this. I wrote a post, and I knew it was going to stir some shit because unfortunately I have, well, maybe not unfortunately, but I have like some of my mother-in-law's friends, and stuff like that online on Facebook and stuff. They're very, very, very vote blue no matter who. And let me see, I'm just going to pull up the post. Because it took me like a while to write it, and it kind of is a culmination of what I was feeling today. 2020 Dem message. Trump is racist more than Biden. Trump lies more than Biden. Trump sexually assaults more than Biden. You should hear yourselves. Everything is absolved because there's a D next to his name. Biden will lose to Trump. I have no doubt in my mind. Whether you choose to accept that statement or not is obsolete. If you seriously think Biden is the best your party has to offer, that is some really sad stuff. People love to shame those with political standards, but every single time someone vote shames, I ask how many people they've called and how many calls they've made, and they either say none or ignore my question. I never thought anybody could possibly be a worse candidate to go against Trump than Hillary, but they found it. Cognitive dissonance is rampant, and it's truly egregious. Nothing was learned from 2016. You can't just order people to vote for who you demand they vote for. It is privilege to do so. Not everything is about Trump. Anyone who wants to go back to the way things were is very uninformed. Demanding sexual assault survivors vote for someone accused is not your place. It is their personal choice. Demanding Black people vote for Biden when he says things like, they taught me about roaches, poor kids are just as smart as white kids, lied about being involved in civil rights, lied about being arrested in apartheid, says if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, constructing and passing the 1994 crime bill and saying he doesn't regret it, and the list goes on. Demanding immigrants vote for him when one asked him a question about the millions of immigrants he deported, and Biden told him, well, go vote for Trump twice. Demanding environmentalists vote for him when he has refused to make any concessions on taking big oil money, etc., and him telling people who ask about it, go vote for someone else, over and over again. Nobody owns anyone's vote besides their own. Better than Trump is literally the lowest bar which could ever be set. It's not good enough. People want something to vote for, not just against. There's 5 months until we vote. And if you want to elect Biden, it is on you to make it happen. Push him to make changes. Push him to listen. Why the hell would he change a damn thing if there's countless people saying, well, I'll vote for him regardless? I'm not okay with the pain people are feeling. And right now, there's not a damn plan Biden has, even so much as to suggest things would change for the better. Get to work. There are plenty of phone calls to be made. That was just kind of, I felt that way a lot of times, but like, especially today, they have no incentive to change. If we have our leverage right now and we tell them, oh, well, Trump is bad, so you have our vote regardless. Why would they change anything? Anything. No point. This is the time when we, the people, should be rising together and coming up and saying, you know what? In order to win against Trump, we're going to need a movement. Trump has a movement. It's gross, but he has one. So hey, you want burners to come out? And I'm not saying this would work for all of us, but you want, Bernie voters to come out. You straight up said you'll never vote for Medicare for all. You straight up said Green New Deal is no. You straight up said DACA on day one is no. You're not even open to discussing these things with us. Why in the living fuck should any of us be open to you? It's a hostage situation. No, I don't care about you, what you want, anything like that. What I do care about is that you vote for me. End of story. Just like Joe said, nothing will fundamentally change. I mean, he legit says this shit, and people are still like, okay. It is pure privilege. It's privilege. There are so many people who have it so worse. Like, the people who are like the biggest vote shamers, without question, are white women. Without question. All the time. And, they're a lot of the lucky ones. So if Black people are telling you, I won't vote for Biden, and Black people's lives under Trump are this bad, maybe you should fucking think. Maybe when people who are being hurt the most under Trump are saying, I think Biden's shit, it should matter. Do Black Lives Matter when you're insisting they vote for someone who they deem racist? That is nobody's place. Don't be like, oh, I support Black Lives Matter, but you better vote for Joe Biden. They may not want to, and that's their right. And it's their deserved right. So supporting immigrants, supporting Black lives, supporting LGBTQ, supporting humanity, that means supporting their choice. That's what that means. That doesn't mean you shall obey me. You make your own choice. I won't tell you not to. I may disagree and say, here's another way to look at it, or, things like that. But so it really just infuriates me when people come at me and tell me, you better do this. No. Guess what? Now I'm going to not do it even harder. Because the thing about burners and progressives is that we're not a monolith. People, like, you look at, like, Warren supporters, they click and they all do the same thing. K Hive, Kamala people, same thing. They are a monolith. Burners, nah, we're all independent. Whether we're registered independent, I just mean we're all independent. Some burners will vote for Joe. Some burners will go green. Some burners will go down ticket. I don't know. But the thing is, we don't, you know, we're not a monolith. I'm going to do my own thing, period. Bernie could show up at my house right now and tap dance and tell me to vote for Biden, and I tell him I love him and give him a hug and say no thank you. He's not my God. He's not my deity. They call us a cult and then flip out when we're not obeying him. Well, Bernie endorsed Biden, so you need to vote for him. No, I don't. No, I don't. I didn't vote for Hillary. I am my own person, as are many of you. So don't allow yourself to be bullied by people. We all know that the likelihood of a state being, you know, losing by one vote is literally like next to impossible. So when people shame you and say, you know, you didn't vote for Biden, so we lost, it's very interesting. Like last time I was told, because I wrote Bernie in, I wasted my vote. But then I was also told that I alone caused Trump to win. So I was both, you know, completely invalid, but I was also the most powerful person in our country at the same time. So, Rebecca, you're right. Joe has literally told us to not vote for him. Literally. He has said, if you believe Tara Reade, you probably shouldn't vote for me. I wouldn't vote for me. He's told like everyone that. I've never seen a candidate literally telling people, don't vote for me if. It's absolutely incredible. I fear for our country. I fear that the second Biden gets those additional 32 delegates, Trump is going to have the biggest party because he knows that he's good to go. And it just makes me wonder how much people really do want to get rid of Trump if they are not listening to us. We're telling them how to get rid of Trump. We're telling them. But they're so stuck on what they want to be true that they can't open up their mind enough to realize that we're being honest. And, you know, like people say, like, you know, oh, I care so much about these people who can't afford their medical bills, but you better vote blue no matter who. Really? What are you going to do to tell Joe to make medical debt forgiveness a thing? What are you going to do to tell Joe that we want Medicare for all? You're just going to stomp your foot and demand we vote for him, even though he is giving us nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't know if you guys saw my post on Twitter about 2 weeks ago, but in Pennsylvania, the way stuff works is we are a closed primary, so I had to go Dem to vote for Bernie. So finally, as soon as my vote says it's been counted, I am back to independent. But anyway, so with that, unfortunately, as soon as you register Dem, DNC, get your info. So I get a call from the DNC, and first of all, they were propping up Joe Biden, which technically is illegal because he has not yet been called the nominee. So technically saying that they were calling, the actual DNC was calling for donations for Joe Biden, technically is unlawful, which they don't care about. But so I get this dude, his name is Caesar, and at this point I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna hang up, I'm just gonna let it ride. So he says to me, do you want to donate to our grassroots DNC Joe Biden campaign? I said, grassroots? And he said, yes, Miss Joy. We have volunteers across all 50 states. I started laughing. I said, no, you don't. I said, I know better than that. No, you don't. I've never met a single Biden organizer or volunteer. I literally ask every single person I come into contact with, how many calls have you made? Nobody ever says they have. I was like, give me a reason to vote for Joe besides he's not Trump. And he's like, I understand, Miss Joy. The thing is, we really do have to get Trump out of office. I was like, besides not Trump. Give me one reason, just one. I understand, Miss Joy, but we need to get someone in office who is honest. And I bust out laughing. Honest? I was like, you do realize he's lied countless times about trying to cut Social Security, Medicare. He lied about apartheid. He lied about being in civil rights movements. And I'm just going down the list. And he's like, I understand, Miss Joy. And then, so, we're just going back and forth. And I'm like, so you can't give me one thing, one reason. And he's like, well, ma'am, I think that, he said Mr. Joe, which was funny, not even vice president. He said, the thing about Mr. Joe is I think he'll bring morality back to the White House. I was like, wait. Do you know who Tara Reid is? And he's like, I understand, Miss Joy. Every single thing, like he wasn't even trying. Like every single thing was just, and oh my God, it was probably almost 10 minutes. I had him on the phone. I put the whole dialogue on Twitter. I was just blown away. I was like, okay, so his own people can't even give me a single reason. That's the thing. When we campaigned for Bernie, we're like, okay, here's the thing. He stands for this. He's accomplished this. We were all like SAT experts on Bernie. And I even asked the guy, I was like, are you a volunteer or employee? Because I knew damn right, well, he wasn't a volunteer. He said, I work for the DNC. I said, see, where are these volunteers you're telling me about? And he probably cried after I got off the phone, but I was like, and I felt kind of bad, but then I'm like, no, I don't, because he's working for an organization that is literally like fucking up our entire country right now. So it was an experience. I'll tell you that much. I don't even know what else to say. It's just so fucked up. Yeah, that's right. I mean, white women at the protest, you're right. Oh my God. I went to the Black Lives Matter protest in Harrisburg on Saturday. There was a white woman with an Obama shirt. I was like, you are the epitome of what's wrong. You don't understand. You don't. Like, oh my God, I'm not racist. I'd vote for Obama a third time. Stop. Seriously, stop. It was just really incredible. I was very fortunate. I was at the protest for a good 2 hours. I filmed some of it, and everything was beautiful. It was peaceful, amazing speakers. It was actually put on by a couple high school kids. So I was really impressed, and kind of envious. I didn't learn to do things like that, when I was younger. I mean, it's sad they were exposed to have to do these things when they're younger, but they are much more knowledgeable than I ever was. But in any case, it's crazy because I've organized probably at least 30 rallies, protests, marches on these Capitol steps. Yet every single time there's been a swarm of cops, even if it's literally just about the Green New Deal and healthcare and stuff, there are always cops. Always, always, always. Now, the Black Lives Matter one on Saturday, not a single cop. The whole 2 hours I was there. They weren't even waiting up the street. And I was like, this is kind of fucking crazy. I wonder if something else is going on somewhere else, or I just wasn't sure. But then what happened was, my girlfriend, who was on her way there, she goes live and she's like shaking and crying, and she's like, cops just got there and people are getting thrown down and pepper spray and all this shit. So long story short, everything peaceful with no cops. Shit went down when cops came. Period. And we've been seeing that so much. Now, one of the things that's also going on, and I know Gretel's kind of in my area, I don't know about anyone else, but I want everyone to be very conscientious of it. There is someone, and he literally must not have any friends, because this dude made 2 events at the same date, same time, same place himself. He didn't even use another name. He used his name for both. One is for a pro-gun Trump rally. One is for a Black Lives Matter rally. Same time, same place, same date. He wants a race war. Period. That's what it is. This is Harrisburg on June 8th. Do not go. We're trying to spread the word. Be very careful with things like that. There are some shady, shady people who are just looking for an excuse. We're trying to go through and message people who say that they're interested or going, so we can give them a heads up. Literally, there's a gun rally with Trump supporters at the same exact time. I can't even believe he wasn't even careful. He put his own name as both of them. But if someone wouldn't have caught that, it still could be bad. That not everyone may find out about it. So we gotta definitely do our best to be on shit like that, and educate people of any kind of inconsistencies we see, or get any kind of tips that something shady is going down. We definitely have to protect, especially our Black and brown community, what they're going through. Some of us could just never understand. And it's really, it's so fucked up, because you can't stop watching the videos, but continuing to watch them is just fucking you up so much. So, but it's like, we shouldn't be able to take a break. We shouldn't. White people should. We can't get desensitized to shit like this. We need to be outraged what's going on. We need to be repulsed. We need to help. We need to take action. And it's heartbreaking seeing everything that's going on. The other 3 cops were arrested today, and the piece of shit who actually murdered George Floyd was moved up to a 2nd degree. Now, a lot of people wanted 1st degree. However, thankfully, I'm kind of voiced in true crime and stuff, and it's worth looking into. The 1st degree, he would walk because that means intent. They would never be able to prove it. It's sure as hell likely, but they wouldn't be able to prove it. 2nd degree is honestly the best we could get. And arresting the other 3 is good, but I have a feeling they just did it because, well, it was Keith Ellison, longtime burner. He stood up and he represented, and I am so proud of him, and I'm so happy it was him who's the AG to do it. And then Klobuchar comes out trying to be like, I'm, proud of our city. Fuck you, bitch. Klobuchar is, for those of you who don't know, she actually let the dude who put his knee on George Floyd, she actually let him off the hook from another beating when he was a cop. That specific guy. So for her to come out and be like, I'm so proud of my city, stop. So props to Keith Ellison, because he's the only one who's doing a damn thing. So, but he only has so much power. I'm worried that an arrest is going to be all it is. Unfortunately, we see through history, especially the past 5 years or what have you, none of these cops ever have to pay for what they do. Ever. They always walk free, and sometimes get pensions, and they get paid time off while they're awaiting trial, things like that. I mean, it's heartbreaking. So, honestly, I'm not getting excited about anything right now. I think one of the reasons that people, not Keith, but other people were okay with arresting the other 3 cops is because they know that shit is so wild and so out of hand that nothing is going to slow this down, even short of anything even close to that. But that, that brings up the question, what will stop these protests? Will it just continue every day? They're getting worse and worse, and they're getting, and we're catching so much on video that it's police doing, the shit, that is KKK who are breaking the windows, and it's police laying piles of bricks down by stores, literally setting people up. And we're seeing all these proof of things, and it's it only makes people madder, which it should, and then the protests get more heated, understandably, and then it's just kind of cyclical. So what happens to stop these protests? What happens? I don't know. Ferguson, it just kind of stopped. And I don't know, but I do know that even if the protests stop today, if these fuckers get out and nothing, and they have to answer to no ramifications, they haven't seen anything yet, because people will be understandably more pissed than you have ever seen them. And this is their chance, the cops and everyone, to set a precedent. No, we're not going to do this shit anymore. They do deserve justice, at least some semblance of justice. And I don't know, it's hard to even see past tomorrow with the way shit is right now. It's just, it's fucking heartbreaking. I don't know. I mean, my heart goes out to everyone who's protesting, everyone, you know, who's filming out there too, everyone who's taking people in to let them crash with you, everyone who's like doing anything, any kind of activism or anything. And just please remember to wear your masks. I know it's hard. I wore mine Saturday and it was hot as balls and it was hard to breathe with it on. But we have to at least try to keep our masks on while we do all this. Unfortunately, I'm sure there will be more breakouts just because of how close protesters are and everything. But it's like, you know, when something like this happens, you're all you want to, like, as an activist, the more I watched these videos, the more I was itching to get out in the street. I swear, I was like, why aren't the trains working? I want to go. I want to go to New York City. I want to go to Philly. I want to go to a protest. I can't sit here. Like, it was just absolutely freaking driving me mad not being able to get out in those streets. And thankfully, Harrisburg did one Saturday so I could go. So I don't blame people for saying, fuck it, I'm putting on a mask, I'm going. I cannot sit home. This is too big. This is like almost like our civil rights of 2020. Like, it's going to be, you know, future generations are going to say, where were you when? I mean, we literally have Palestine protesting for us right now. Palestine. We have Australia. We have Italy. We have Paris. We have other countries going out and protesting for Black Lives Matter. That is so profound and powerful. So it's like the whole world is watching. We have to do something. And electing Jim Crow Joe is not going to help. This show was very uplifting. Reality rarely is. But so tomorrow night, I have Angela Walker coming on. She is the VP for the Green Party. She is Howie Hawkins' VP choice. So she will be coming on tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And Friday will be my last show with Real Progressives, or Real Progress in Action. I will be going live at 9 p.m. Eastern Friday to just kind of say my goodbyes and discuss what I am going to be doing after Friday, where I'm going, what, you know, my plans are. I will still be doing what I'm doing now. It just, unfortunately, it's, you know, it's my time to leave RP, which is hard. And I just want to clarify again there's no, there's nothing but love with them, like for them, from me. This is, intentionally fully good terms. That's why I told them last month, and didn't just do it abruptly. I will always have, Steve and RP in my heart. It's been my life for 3 years. But anyway, I'm trying not to cry. Okay, so tomorrow night, Angela Walker, Green Party VP, and Friday night will be my last show. Just giving a heads up of what I'm doing. All right, thank you guys so much. I love you guys, and stay strong, and Howie Hawkins has sabotaged Green Party candidates. This I do not know. If you would like to message me, Audie Presley, on Facebook Messenger or Twitter, I would love to know that. I'm not particularly a Howie fan, to be quite honest with you. So I don't really follow him. I think Angela Walker is amazing. And I would love to see an African American VP who's actually, like, good. But yeah, if you have any info, absolutely feel free to message it to me. But in any case, thank you guys so much for tuning in as always, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow night.